I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Dale, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I'm doing well. Literally just got home from tour, so trying to, assimilate myself back into the real world again. So it's sometimes tricky, but nice to be home for sure.
Anytime I ever had to do any kind of rock, clearly you guys do it much differently on the musician side of it, but whenever I came back from a rock conference or anything like that, the thing that brought me down to earth the quickest was going out and picking up after my dog, standing there with a plastic bag over my hand, still hungover from the trip, still tired. So yeah, I feel you in a way. I get.
Yeah, that'll humble you quickly. I have two very young children as well, so.
There you go.
When the house looks like a bomb went off and, just all the things on the ground,
right.
And you got to go pick them up and pick up food. And, that humbles you really quickly.
I tell you what, well, glad you got back. I hope you can kick your feet up and relax for a while. I know you guys have been keeping busy, obviously, because brand new Seether album, The Surface Seems So Far, is out now. Very exciting. Dale, let's get into this because you joined the band basically at the start of it, shortly after Sean got things kicked off. So it's been many years, and now with this ninth studio album, you've seen it all. You've recorded it all. You've played it all. But what maybe stood out with this record compared to previous works when you guys got this put together?
I think for me, this one feels like almost like a little bit of a throwback in a way,
Okay.
to those old days, with Sean producing. It just, I don't know, there's just kind of a freedom that sort of comes with it. I feel like when you have a producer, they're almost there to babysit a little bit and, maybe kind of, I don't want to say take the edge off, but, make sure we don't go too out of hand so that, the label's got some ballads, for the radio and,
right.
that kind of, they don't always want you to get too rowdy, which seems like a theme. but when we're doing it ourselves, we can, do whatever it is we want to do. So This is a pretty heavy album. It's pretty aggressive, pretty heavy, a lot of heavy riffs. Still got the melody though, and that's always been important to us. So yeah, I mean, our first single, Judas Mind's actually done really well at radio, and it's a much heavier song for a single, traditionally speaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if you retain that sense of melody, you can go heavy, and radio will. They'll play it. People want to hear it.
It's never too much of an arm twister to get Seether on board. I think everyone's on there, but you did bring up something that I wanted to touch on, a heavier album. And that's kind of what I've been getting and listening to it and compiling it with that Seether melody at its core and that essence of the band. But there's no acoustic songs on this album. And this is the first one without at least one acoustic song or more mellow song on, or that kind of stable that we do know and love.
Right.
Was that planned, or did that just kind of happen? You're like, hey guys, we don't have anything that's unplugged on this one.
It just kind of happened that way. Maybe we're just getting angrier with age. No, but we never really set out to make an album that's going to fit into a certain box or kind of sound a certain way. The strongest songs kind of rise to the top, and throughout the recording process, it kind of becomes clear as you go on, what songs are going to make the album and what songs are the strongest of the bunch. So at the end of the day, we all kind of came up with our personal list of our favorites as the band.
Yeah.
Management had their input. The label had, okay, well, these were the songs that that we think should be on the album, and we kind of went through that and thought, okay, well, let's see which ones get the most votes, type of thing, and and that's what kind of dictates the album. So it wasn't really a well thought out plan, but there wasn't really a lot in the way of like acoustic stuff. Yeah, a couple here and there, but I feel like the heavy stuff really kind of stood out this time.
Yeah. How do you guys still continue to capture that and make that Seether album that is true to you guys, but allows you to grow, but also still keeps the fans in it that maybe have been there from the beginning or are just new to Seether?
it's always in the back of your mind, like, I hope this isn't a complete bomb. I hope people are gonna like this one. But at the same time, I think, we've been doing it so long now, and we have a pretty hardened fan base who's pretty loyal to us. Obviously, you'd like to get new fans and bring new people on board if you can. But I feel like at this point, we just kind of make music that we'd like to hear.
Yeah.
This album, even though it is a little different, maybe a little heavier than some of the past ones, it's, we haven't really reinvented the Seether wheel, so to speak. It's very much Seether. It very much sounds like us. And, I think if you're a fan of what we do, you'll probably appreciate at least some of the songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we do it obviously for the fans, but it's basically the music that we want to hear. And if people want to come along for the ride, please come to the show. Let's have a good time. Let's have some drinks, get on stage, make some noise, and just have a good time. So it's nice to be in a position where we are established to the point where we can take a slightly more relaxed approach to it.
That's actually what I was following in there, and you wrapped it up at the point that you're at now. You kind of feel like you've just earned that relaxed right where you can say, like, this is us. You kind of love it or hate it, which obviously everyone loves it, but it's got to be a little bit more relaxing, a little bit of that weight off, and more enjoyable maybe at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And, just in general, also we've been doing it so long, and I think we've gained a little more maybe cachet or respect maybe from from like label and the powers that be. And so if we want to take a year or two off in between albums to make sure the album's as good as it can be, that's okay. If we're going in the studio, labels basically said, look, it's basically carte blanche to do whatever it is you guys want to do, and let us know when it's done. We'll give it a listen. And obviously, a label wants to protect their investment. They're putting a lot of money into this unknown quantity, and I mean, they're in the business of making money. If you're losing, you got to close your doors. So that's a stressful time, being a young band and trying to, cut your teeth and make it and earn that respect. But it's cool now to have a label that believes in us and, lets us basically do our thing and make the album that we want to make. And when it's ready, say, cool, like, great album, we'll go ahead and start the marketing, because, we don't know really anything about that side of stuff. But I think we've got the music side handled.
You got it down. Well, you can hear that now again on the latest album from Seether, The Surface Seems So Far.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Awesome, heavy, new, and that's always exciting, especially the first new work since 2020. And so much has changed out there, and I just it's awesome having this after 4 years of enjoying the last album and what we had before. But again, it's available now. The Surface Seems So Far. And I got to ask about this new album. I ask everyone this. So is there a track that really speaks to you off this album?
There's a track called Walls Come Down. It's the simplest song on the album, but it's the one that, when we'd go home at the end of the evening after, like, mixing or, just tracking all day, that would be the one that, I'd be kind of humming in my head. Yeah, it's a song called Walls Come Down. We are planning on releasing that as a single. So, people will hear it on radio, hopefully. But yeah, it's just kind of a very simple, straightforward song. It's just got a, straightforward beat. But I don't know, I think because it's one of the simpler songs, it's just really catchy. It's got a good hook. And I just, that one really just stood out to me and just, it's an earworm. So
I love it.
I'll say Walls Come Down is probably my favorite.
I love it. I know that's always hard because when you're so close to, especially too with Sean producing and you guys have it in there. Yeah, you spend a lot of time with these. You know them intimately, but I'm excited now that
you fall in love with all of them. In different ways and for different reasons. So
you're right. Right.
It's like which child's my favorite? I don't know. This one's good at that. I like this.
That one's being a real son of a bitch. He's not on the list right now.
Yeah, Sophie's Choice over here with the songs.
Right. Oh, I love it. Well, we're going to get to rapid fire, but I'm going to do my James Lipton Masterpiece Theater question here where I get real deep with you. 20 years from now, the band's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You guys have put out more records, Grammys, Emmys, Tonys. The accolades that you guys have received. Looking back at this in the lineage of Seether, where are you going to put this album for you guys? As we look at the past, the future, where do you put this, Dale?
Hopefully it's slap bang in the middle of our career. I'd like to think we've got a couple more albums under the belt, some life left in us. I mean, we've slowed down a little bit on the touring side of things, but I think we're still there's a mosquito buzzing around me sitting outside. But I think creatively, we've still got a lot of energy in us. But yeah, I'd like to think this album will be one that people look back kindly on and fondly. I think it's a strong album. Yeah, I hope we're still doing it in 20 years from now. Who knows? I mean, so much can happen. But if we go back 20 years and you say, hey, 20 years in the future, you'll still be doing this thing. I'll be like, no way. And at the speed that 20 years goes at, now that I'm in my mid 40s and having kids, that just accelerates life in general. So I feel like 20 years is going to be the blink of an eye. So yeah, it's probably not out of the question that we'll still be doing our thing. So yeah.
Well, I hope so. I'll see you on the geriatric tour for you guys.
I'll be using a walker to come out on stage. But probably have a nurse on stage next to me. Just
it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
But yeah, it's
I love it. Well, again, the Surface Theme so far, the latest album from Seether, album number 9. It's out now. Go get it. Go check it out. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Now that the important stuff's out of the way, quick round of rapid fire so Alyssa doesn't get me in trouble. There's no wrong answers on this. You just go with your gut. Let's start easy. Stairway to Heaven or Highway to Hell?
Stairway.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Straight fries or curly fries?
Straight.
Right.
Boring.
They work. Sometimes curly fries are too showy,
Yeah, you can't dip them as easy in your little tub of...
You get all over. No wrong answer.
Too
no
fancy.
wrong answer.
I'm a simple plebeian.
Disco or techno?
Techno.
All right.
Yeah. I used to be a big raver back in my day.
Sandstorm, my favorite techno. That's the only one I know, but that's the one I think from Blade. You know that, and when they're in the club. Yeah, that's a good one. That's all I know, though. That's all I know. Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Probably Bigfoot.
Does South Africa have any crazy mythological people? I'm sure you guys do.
Yeah, we got one called the Tokoloshe.
What the hell is that?
He's like it's more in like I feel like in the Zulu culture. He's this little man, and he runs around, and it's like a superstition thing. So I remember we had a nanny growing up. She put a bed on like paint cans and like bricks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's out of his reach, because he was like the short little man,
Okay.
But he was like this sort of weird little monster guy, and he'd run around at night. And while everyone's sleeping, he'd come and if your bed was too low, he could reach you, and he'd attack you or possess you or whatever it was.
Tickle you, whatever that weird little pervert did.
So her bed was like 5 feet off the ground.
No kidding, that's crazy.
I'd try to get on there. We'd be playing and stuff, and I couldn't get onto her bed because of the paint cans, the Tokoloshe. So.
The Tokoloshe couldn't either.
Yeah.
You don't have the need to see it. That's so interesting. All right, last one. 1 punch from Mike Tyson or 100 punches from the Where's the Beef lady?
I'd go Iron Mike.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's
trauma aside, I'd love to meet him. And I'd love to just say I took one from the champ. You
might not be able to.
I'm a boxing fan. I'm an MMA fan, but too big time. But I'm a big Iron Mike fan. So
I love it.
Yeah,
take one from him. I like that. I like it. Brave man.
I'll probably die afterwards.
Yeah, right.
At least I can say, hey, I met the champ,
Met him once, took me out. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for humoring me. More importantly, Dale, thank you for talking new music. Seether, the Surface Theme so far. Really appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.